Welcome back. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Courtney.
And I'm along for the ride. Just kidding. I'm Kenneth Davis.
And this is the From Launch to Legacy podcast, where we talk about everything it takes to start and run a small business. So we've talked about a lot, actually.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about setting up legally, getting ready financially, structurally.
Yeah, we crammed a lot in those first 10 episodes.
Yeah. Systems and your elevator pitch, networking, and your first clients.
Mm-hmm.
The last 2 episodes have been about marketing. So this is our 3rd episode about startup marketing. They're the funnest ones for me and the least entertaining for Kenneth.
I'm like, let's get into something fun like systems thinking.
Yucky. Anyway, so the last 2 episodes were about pre-marketing. They were about your brand message, your core values, your logos, your website, all that stuff, your visual identity. And then today we're going to talk about beginning marketing, like the stuff that you're actually going to get into it. But before we start, like always, I want to make sure that you guys know there are free resources on our website.
www.havensconsulting.com. Didn't know I was on cue for that one. My bad.
It just came to me so that Kenneth could be part of this episode. I'll just randomly stop talking and let him jump in.
I've got to be on my toes on this one.
And just scare him a few times. Okay. So if you go to our website and go to the resources on podcast guides, there are guides for every episode that we've done. And then there's side quests.
Side quest.
Yes. So there will be an episode about this beginning marketing. And there's 2 side quests for this one, which is choosing your social media platform.
Mm-hmm.
I did promise you in last episode, or maybe the one before that I would tell you about social media.
Excellent.
I know you're so excited. And there's one for client retention.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's get into it. So let's just talk about the beginning marketing. So really, I know that like you want to do everything, right? Most people are like, I need to get my website. I need to get my social media. I need to post every day. I need to gain followers, right?
Yeah, that's a recipe for burnout.
Yes, it is. It is. It's not sustainable, especially when you're having to put in all of this other stuff that's more important in place.
Yeah, because people are going to try and do all 11, 12 of these episodes at the same time.
Yeah.
And you can't. That's something we had to learn.
Yes.
Or I had to learn, really, it's okay if things have to wait.
Yep.
Learn to prioritize. It can't be everything everywhere all at once.
That's right. Okay, so what you want to make sure is that you understand why you're doing this marketing, right? It's not just so that you have all these ads out. There's reasons behind it, right? It is for you to build awareness of your new business or product or service, and then to establish trust. They say that it takes 7 times for you to see or hear about a company before you go into investigate. Of course, sometimes you see something and you're like, you want it immediately. But for the most part, it takes a while for you to have a familiarity with that
and
brand.
A lot of times, if you do want it immediately, you've been exposed to that company before.
Yeah. Even if you don't really recognize it, you've heard people talk about it or seen an ad that you didn't even know. So the main thing is your marketing is how you bridge between your business and potential clients, right? It's how you speak to them. And if you don't think of it like, I have to be Coca-Cola and have all these ads. It's just, how can I talk to these people? And what is the best way to do that?
Yeah.
So the main thing is you want to be consistent. I can't drive that home enough, right? Don't do anything you can't sustain. Definitely don't start out, I'm going to post every day, right?
Yeah. Whatever you think you can do plan for like a third or half that, and then build up. Because then overachieving against your expectations as opposed to not meeting your own expectations, one will give you steam and one will take the wind out of your sails.
Yep, absolutely. Okay. And then, so after consistency, you want to make sure your perception is correct, that whatever you're putting out aligns with your company. If it's if you are bright and colorful and vibrant and your service or your product is all those things, then you want to make sure that you don't have a black and white boring thing. And if your company is about system optimization and black and white
monochromatic
stuff, you want to do that. And you can still have fun with it and colors, but you just want to make sure it aligns with your service, your product, your brand in general.
Go check out previous episode. I forget which number it is, and we talk about color guides, and maybe Lainey will put a link there somewhere.
How about in the show notes?
In the show notes, so down there.
Make sure that whatever you're doing has long-term value. It's not just about finding clients or getting people to come to you. It's about keeping them. So you want your stuff to be engaging for people that have already used your products as well. And you have to be found, right?
Yeah.
So you have to have something. You really just can't have a company without being online.
No, not today.
No.
Not today. And yeah, not today.
Okay, so in episode 8, we talked about securing your first clients through your personal networks and local connections and stuff like that. And then we talked about your ideal client, and there's a worksheet on how to find that and questions to ask yourself and stuff. So the first thing about your marketing is, who is your ideal client? Go back and do that if you don't know. And so find your ideal client and then find where they hang out. We talked about that a little bit, so I'll just kind of skim over it. But you need to be where they are, right?
Yep.
So whatever service product you have, you need to make sure that it is in the right platform.
Yeah.
And we will talk about those. So don't worry if you're like, I don't know what to do. We will get there.
Yeah, because there's definitely there's a lot of different strategies, but there's, in my head, 2 major branches, and it depends on if you are business to business or if you're consumer facing. Those are 2 completely different marketing schemes, strategies, everything.
Yep. So mainly for business to business, you would be like on LinkedIn.
Yep.
And then
or in trade magazines or at trade shows.
Yeah, publications and stuff like that.
Not, on Facebook.
Yeah.
Because not no one, but, if you're looking for a process consultant and you're, doing $15 million a year manufacturing widgets, you're probably not going to find a consultant on Facebook.
Yep.
Like, just unlikely that's going to be really fun.
And if you sell cups,
it's always, I love it.
You're probably not going to be on LinkedIn.
Probably not going to be on LinkedIn.
It's just not going to give you the people that are looking for that.
No.
Okay. So if you are like overwhelmed and you don't know where to start, the very first thing I would do is just do one platform, set up your profile, set up the About Us or whatever, depending on what it is, and just do one thing a week for 4 weeks. That's it. One place, one thing.
Yep.
Make it as easy as possible. If you don't have your Google business profile, I don't care what you're in, do that one.
Yep.
And there is a worksheet on how to set that up, optimize that on the website.
Because, even if it doesn't matter if you're consumer or business to business, that's the one thing that
everybody needs.
Like, if you Google someone and they don't have a Google, thing off to the side, you're like, that's not a real company.
Yep. All right. So now we're going to start talking about social media, because that's really where you find people. If you don't have a storefront or something like that, but even if you have a storefront, you need social media. You need to be somewhere. I mean, people use Facebook now as their search engine for companies.
Yes.
Yeah. It used to be you definitely Googled. Now most of the time you Google, but you ask on Facebook.
Yeah, and that's kind of a crazy cycle.
I don't recommend that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying people do.
Yeah, and we talked about that on a previous episode with networking groups.
So when you're doing social media, you want to choose one, maybe two platforms. You want to set realistic goals, not I want to get 5,000 clients, right?
Right.
It's I want to raise awareness about my company.
Yep.
I want to build some connections. I'd like to get referrals. Easy, realistic.
Yep.
If you are just starting this, you don't have a baseline. So
Right.
you can't be putting number goals in, which are important later. But right now, it's just about building awareness and some trust in the community.
Yeah. And there'll be way down the road, a later episode, we'll talk about systems thinking a little bit. We'll kind of shift the way we think about things and how things interact. So, but we'll talk about that, and that you kind of led up to that. So just throwing that little teaser out there.
All right. So again, you want to make sure that you're staying consistent and not overwhelming once a week in the beginning. That's something that most people can sustain. That is a good starting point. And if that seemed really easy, then for the next 4 weeks, try to.
Yep.
But don't go up to every day. And if you realize that you really like this part, save them. You can batch create content. You can make 10 posts, like we usually do more than one video in a day because we can't just sit and do a video every single day. So you try to do more than one so that you have time in between.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
To work with your actual clients.
Yep. And I mean, you've hit on this a few times, and it's so important but I don't want anyone to gloss over this. We have this weird thing in America where we took the most hyper productive individuals, Jeff Bezos, whoever, and we were like, that's the standard in which a small business owner needs to work. It's like, you need to work 100 hours a week. No, you need to work in a way that is profitable and sustainable. Yes. Because all you're going to do is compound a bunch of guilt about I'm not working enough or I'm not doing this. And then that's going to negatively affect your energy level and your confidence and your, ability to put, throughput. So don't sign yourself up for 50 things week one. Figure out what your limit is and then figure out how to maximize within that limit.
Yeah.
Because burnout is going to take 3 to 4 times as long to recover as it did to get there. So
Yeah, I listened to a podcast for entrepreneurs, mainly startups and founders and $1 million things or whatever. But the guys are always talking about how in the beginning they worked constantly. They worked 80 plus hours a week. They didn't go home at Christmas. 7 years, I think one of them said, and they didn't go home for Christmas. Now, if you're trying to launch Uber, good for you. But if you're a small business and your goals are things like spend time with my family, be able to go on vacation, be my own boss, working 80 hours a week,
you're not doing what you set out to accomplish.
That's right. And there are sacrifices you have to make the first few years. But we have an episode coming up, probably 3 or 4 down the line, where we talk about mental health, and we'll talk more about all of this stuff. But if you're listening now and you're like freaking out now, please.
We'll see how comfortable I am telling some of my stories about near nervous breakdowns.
Yeah. I mean, it's so hard, but just make sure that you are staying in line with why you did this in the first place. Because if you're working 80 hours a week and you're getting none of your items met or your goals met, would it be better to work 40 hours a week for someone else?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And if you are planning on, I really don't like to use this word, but like a disruptive company like Uber when it came to the market or something, if you are not in love with working 100 hours a week, if you're not wishing you were at work, which you're probably not going to have a good family life, that's just, you can't be excellent on all fields of life.
Yeah.
You can be pretty good at all of them, but you can't be in the top 1% of 1% of something and then also still be.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a human being and you just have limited capacity. So if you're working 100 hours a week and you're hating what you're doing, something's got to change.
Yeah.
Because it will change for you if you don't consciously and deliberately do it.
Yep. Okay. Back to marketing. That's just a little hit of what we'll talk about in the mental health episode. But so we talked about batching, where you do multiple. You can create a content calendar When I did marketing for a company 10 years ago, I did it with a pencil and a piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
And I would make a post and I kind of rotated them. So I made a post and I put it on Facebook on Wednesday and
Mm-hmm.
Instagram on Friday or and kind of moved them around. I don't suggest that. There's plenty of free resources. There's plenty of free content calendars. You can make one on Google Docs, Sheets.
Yep.
There's great resources on that, but really just make sure that you only do one or two platforms, realistic goals, and you're consistent. There's lots of different kinds of content. There's 5 pillars of content. There's educational, which is how to, tips, myth busting, industry insights.
That's a lot of our stuff.
Mm-hmm. There's inspirational, which is like success stories, motivational quotes, visions for the future. Behind the scenes, which is your process, your team, your workspace, personality type stuff.
That's going to be, and these are going to be different folk. Like, you don't want to see the behind the scenes at Havens Business Services just watching me type for, an hour.
Well, yeah, but if we did something at an expo, that might be fun.
Yeah.
So there's ways to do all of these in every sector. So promotional, so that's going to be your advertising, right? You want to make sure that you are not just advertising or people are not going to look at it at all, right? You need to have engaging content.
Mm-hmm.
And interactive, which is questions, polls, contests, fill in the blank, stuff like that. The main thing, this is all on the worksheets, but the main thing, if you're, overwhelmed and you're just like, I just need to know what to do. You can do expertise things, which are frequently asked questions and tips. You can do about your story, why you started this, what makes it unique, or what you offer. So whatever product or service. So there's 3 different ones: your expertise, your story, your offer, and you can make up a month worth of or 2 months or 3 months worth of content just off of those. So the next part we're going to talk about is building relationships. So marketing's not just about getting the client, but keeping the client. It's much less expensive to keep a client, and someone going out into the world and saying, I love this company is worth more than 10 social media posts, right?
Yeah.
All right. So one way to do that, to build trust, is proactive communication. So how you do that is with your clients, you set expectations early. We talked about that in when we talked about scope management, let them know what this process is going to look like, what they can expect from you, what you expect from them. Make that as clear as you can. Check in regularly, don't just do the work and never speak to them again.
Yeah. I mean, even if you're running behind, consistent communication can mitigate a lot of the negative effects of even running behind schedule. And we talked a lot about, trying to pack that in there, but consistent communication. Yeah, agreed. That's a huge thing.
Next is great service. Do your best every time, right? I mean, that's all you can do. People are vicious.
Yeah.
So just do your best. Keep up with the communication. Be professional and nice, and then ask for testimonials. The best time to do that is right after you finish, right after they've said something nice to you.
Yes.
Right after you complete a step in the process, whenever they're in a great mood.
Right.
Ask them at the right time when they're in a good mood.
Yep.
And make it easy. Send them the link where they just have to click one little button.
Yes.
And then after they do it, thank them. You want to thank them on the review or testimonial or whatever. And then you want to thank them in a separate way, a separate email or a note that you give to them or anything like that.
Yep.
So there's more about that on the side resource on client retention and nurturing. But that talks about the marketing loop. So we've kind of talked about that a little bit, but there's 4 steps in the marketing loop. It's deliver great service, And when you do that, that makes a happy client. Your happy client, you ask them for a testimonial or a referral. And then when they give you the testimony or a referral, that helps you gain a new client who's already pre-sold.
Yep.
So someone else not affiliated with you has gone and said, this is great.
Yep.
Work with these people.
Yep.
So that is about all for that. And we have plenty of time. So I will go through a little bit on the social media guide, and we can talk about the different types of social media. There's 4 main ones. So LinkedIn, so that's like the professional powerhouse, right? Business to business services, consulting, professional networking. This is where professionals connect, right? This is where you show your expertise. The people that make decisions in businesses are usually on LinkedIn, higher end people in companies. The things that you should share on there are like articles, case studies.
Yeah.
One of the pros there is that you can look for specific groups of people, specific job titles, specific areas, in industries and stuff like that.
Yep.
One of the cons is it does have a slower audience growth. It is hard to grow your LinkedIn.
Yep.
It's hard to become relevant on that because the type of people that are on there aren't on social media that often.
Yeah, or they're and you'll see these if you've got a LinkedIn, you've definitely seen these. You've got some people that you used to work with or something, and they're posting on there like it's Facebook, and you're like, this is
silly.
Not. Yeah, it's a silliness. This is a Facebook post.
Yeah. Okay. So if that sounds like that is the group for you, easy, quick win that you can do today is to complete your profile with a professional headshot. It's very important that you have a professional headshot. I'm sure you can look on Pinterest or anywhere and maybe fudge one a little bit, but it needs to be a professional picture, not a picture with your pet.
Oh, for sure.
And then make a clear summary of who you are and what you do, and then just connect with 5 to 10 people. Don't try to sell them anything. Just connect with them. Just make friends on there. Just like something that they did.
Yeah, no one wants to be aggressively marketed to. Like, I always try and think interacting, how would I want to be interacted with? I don't, unless you're a Girl Scout, you better not ambush me on the way out of the grocery store.
Yeah.
There's making genuine connections and maintaining those relationships. And you've talked about that a lot today. It's
the most important.
Yes, because people trust them. And those people will come to you, and then those people are trusted by other people. And your reputation, I think Warren Buffett said it takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to destroy one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, that's so important.
So if you go to the content resource, it'll give you ideas on what kind of content to post on all of these. So the next one is Instagram. It's pictures, right? It's visually driven. It's lifestyle stuff. It's businesses with a strong presence, it's highly visual. It's a good place to build community, if that's your thing and around visual things, right? There's a lot of engagement there. If you do reels and stories and carousels, it's great for like behind the scenes, but it is a little more difficult for people our age, or older, or people who just aren't comfortable in front of a camera, or behind it. You have to post more there than some of these other ones. It's also one of the ones that's algorithm driven, right? So like it shows you to whoever it feels like.
Yes.
So those are kind of hard, and they're changing, and there used to be ways to kind of get around it, and now no one really knows why it's doing what it's doing.
People learned how to game the algorithm, but then that adjusted because the algorithm's dynamic, so it's changing as the input changes, and so it's doing something that makes sense, but that we can't. It's a little black box.
Yep. So a quick win that you can do today, if Instagram is for you, is to create your business profile, make a clear, concise bio, upload 3 to 5 pictures or a video, and, just talk about what makes you unique. You can just start right there. Just finish out that business profile and get some things started. Now, you don't necessarily have to start your posting every week, right? But there's something there if people look for you.
Yep.
All right. This one everyone knows. This one's Facebook. So it's best for local businesses, events. It is good for community building. It has a broader demographic, but an older demographic, right? It's like our age and older, really.
Which is crazy because I was like, everyone uses Facebook. It's still like
but our moms use Facebook, and my grandma uses. I'm sorry, edit that out. Nana.
Yeah.
I did not say the G word. All right. So it is still the largest platform. It's still the biggest one out there. And it's good for local because you can do reviews and people are on there. And like we said, that's where they're going to look for recommendations.
Yeah.
And they are reading reviews, while they're scrolling and stuff.
Yeah.
It's another algorithm driven one. It's got the organic reach, so that's not paid.
Right.
Is really decreasing. It's the algorithm, right? So it is hard to get your stuff shown. That's another reason you want to be consistent.
Yep.
Because if you post a bunch and then you stop posting, it's gonna stop showing your stuff. And even if you jump back up, it's hard to get it to do it again. And the same thing with paid ads. I wouldn't start paid ads unless you can afford to keep going, because it may not show your stuff anymore once you've done it.
Or at least not near as frequently or consistently.
So pros, everybody's on it. Your clients are probably on it. There's a community group where your clients hang out.
Yep.
Almost assuredly. It's good for events. It has like we said, the strong features for local, which are reviews. People look up hours. We have people go to our Facebook and ask us questions.
Yes.
So it is good for that. But like we said, organic reach is decreasing. So just be careful with the paid ads. Quick win there is to set up your Facebook business page.
Yep.
With a clear profile picture that shows your company well, a cover photo, complete the about section. That is important. Put in your hours or something. Have as many of those sections filled out as you can, because it just gives you a better look and a feel when people go look. It's like your Google business profile, right? You want that filled out.
And if people go to it and they're looking for information, like when are they open, and it's not there.
Yep. They may just go look for someone else.
Yeah. Consumers, including me and you, were, especially nowadays, we're super lazy.
Yeah.
We want
all the information.
I don't want to hunt for any. I think there was a statistic. If someone has to, when we open a website, you naturally scan with your eyes, and if you don't find what you're looking for within 3 seconds, you'll leave the website. So on all these things, put all the things in there, or don't start it yet.
Yeah.
So don't just put your name, and it's like, well, what do they do? Where's their hours? Where are they located? They don't want to have to guess and go track all that down.
Yep.
Someone else is way easier to get in contact with.
Yep. And like we said, you don't have to start all this complete posting right now.
Right.
But fill out the profile completely, or don't publish it yet.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So then this one's an optional one. It's kind of specific. It's TikTok. So it's for younger audiences generally, but there are a lot of people on there now, and families and moms and stuff like that. It has the biggest potential for getting you seen by far.
Really? Do we have a TikTok?
No.
No?
We don't have a TikTok because we don't have the content to put on TikTok.
Oh, okay.
We'll see. Maybe we'll get in there. But I mean, anyone, even if you have no followers, can go viral. It is
Right.
is anyone and everyone can take off. But the thing is, that post may go viral, but that doesn't mean it's going to end up in sales, right?
Right.
So you want to make sure that just because you can post some funny, trendy thing, if it doesn't align with your business, it's not helping you.
Right.
I should have said this at the beginning, but your number of followers does not correlate with the health of your business in
No.
any metric.
Mm-mm.
It just doesn't. The number of followers does not say how well your business is doing.
No.
Okay. So, like I said, you can reach thousands overnight. The unpolished, the outtakes do best, right? So
Yeah.
it's not like it has to be perfect and polished and all that. But it is time consuming and you do need to post frequently.
Yeah. Figuring out a routine on planning, creating, and then distributing, but on a routine.
Yeah.
Because trying to fit it in as an afterthought is just a recipe for disaster.
And you get halfway through a post, you didn't post it, now you feel bad about yourself, you've got a client call.
Yeah.
Don't put anything on yourself that you don't have to at this moment.
Yeah. And that was one of the things, we'll probably talk about this in a later episode, that I had to readjust my entire mindset was, if you're just reacting all the time, like, that's not good.
Yeah.
You don't want to do anything that's not deliberate. That doesn't mean that things aren't going to come up that you weren't expecting, but you have a much more structured or framework ideology to handle those things.
Yeah.
And you're not just playing whack-a-mole and trying to, and you're out of resources real quick because you stopped all the things you were doing to handle these things that came up, and now nothing's done.
Yep. So the quick win for that one is, for TikTok, is just to spend 15 minutes looking at industry-related content. So that could be your competition, or it could just be someone that is related to you somehow, or it could be someone that you think you might want to emulate. We really like this YouTube Shorts lawyer.
Oh, yeah.
We're not in law at all, but we just love him. He's great. So something like, okay, well, this is the kind, he does like frequently asked questions. Maybe that would be something we would do in the future. So that's who we could watch maybe to get some inspiration, and then make a video.
Yeah.
You don't have to post it, but make one. See how that feels. See if you like that. So then if you do that, you're like, oh, didn't like that, I don't think I'm going to be doing that. Okay, well, you possibly just saved yourself 6 months of looking up things that you're going to try, just to realize you don't want to do that, and you just wasted that time when you could have been using one of these other platforms.
Yep. And we'll talk about this in a later episode of balancing planning and execution.
Yes.
Because this is something I've gotten a lot better at very recently, is forcing myself at a point to go, this is good enough.
Yeah.
This is good enough and I will just stop where I'm at. And I'm like, publish, distribute, execute, whatever that is, because I'll start hearing about, oh, well, there's this thing we could add, or this thing, and then deploy and then improve one thing, then deploy and then improve one, so don't stack all these. Because you feel like I've got all these things to do.
Yeah.
That's not what it's going to feel like. It's going to feel like I have all these things to do. Like it's going to be overwhelming. And I don't know, this is just like, it's so easy to happen. And it's happened to me several times. So like, each one of these, I'm like, this is how you don't collapse on yourself. This is how you don't implode.
Yes. All right. So like I said, those are just the most common. There's plenty of other sites out there. There's plenty more information. We just wanted to give you the most valuable, do something today information on these things. And I want to make sure that you are patient with yourself.
Yes.
Social media takes forever to grow, no matter what you're on. Experiment, do a little something, tweak it. Do a little something, tweak it.
Yeah.
You can reuse content change it up a little bit and reuse it. You don't have to make a whole new thing from scratch every time.
No, because you can tell when a channel has kind of ran out of relevant material. You're like, man, I used to really like this channel. Now it just seems like they're reaching. Like that's what'll, and that will kill you.
All right. And avoid comparison. Focus on your wins, not your followers counts. Okay. I have over 1,000 Facebook friends. I have 2 real life friends. They're not the same thing.
Right.
My 2 real life friends would drop everything and come here right now if I needed them. And those people matter more than the 1,000 people who look at my Facebook who don't speak to me.
Right.
It's the same thing with clients. You could have a handful of great clients and 1,000 followers. If your clients are good, that's what matters.
Right.
If your friends are good, that's what matters. So don't get caught up in the follower or the likes or whatever, right?
No.
Not the same.
And like you said, jump out there, get one done. It doesn't have to be good. You don't have to publish it.
That's right.
Record, because you recorded before we did the podcast. You did like solos that you did not publish.
Yep. I did, cleaned out the office. I did that. I opened all of our equipment.
Yeah, I did an unboxing.
Yeah. Not that I would use it. We didn't use it, but it got me comfortable being on camera, seeing myself, hearing myself. Every time we record, I do a minute or 2 video where I check the lighting, check my voice, and most of my anxiety goes away in that 2 minutes before we start. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm still very anxious. It's still very hard for me because of my stage fright we talked about in the networking episode. But that little bit of prep work helps immensely.
Yep.
Okay. Well, we talked about your beginning items that you can do to get started today. Like I said, there's resources on the website about social media, the things we talked about, but there's more things on that, right?
Yep.
There's different kinds of content. Always, if you have questions, please let us know. Put them in the comments. Email us at info@havensconsulting.com. We would love to talk to you guys. And on the social media front, at least, I will end with saying pick one platform and do one thing a week for 4 weeks and take care of the clients that you already have.
Yep.
All right. Well, next week is the business plan. So that one's going to be a big one. And we hope you guys will join us for that.
All right. We'll see you guys next week.
All right.
Thank
bye. You.